Oh, there we go. Hi, everyone. Here we are. It's Team United. It's your favorite Eurovision channel. And guess what? We are here to talk about Eurovision. Who would have thought? It's yet another episode of Mattitude, and it is day 5 of rehearsals and the 6th consecutive days we're live streaming. So we're not even halfway there, actually, thinking about it, but that's a story for another day. But we have lots and lots to talk about. Thank you, everyone that is already here in the chat, chatting away. But before we get jumping into today's topics, which is the entire first semifinal, just a quick hello to everyone on my live stream joining me. Jonathan, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. It's a bit later than I thought we would do the stream, but I'm here, so yeah.
Yeah, and I told all of my team members, we had to play it a little bit by ear because we don't know what will be released or when it will be released. Someone said, if you have to leave early because it's late, don't worry, it's early where I am at. It's only 11:30 in the morning. So everybody else, cut their losses. Roy, are you excited?
I am very excited to see all of these clips and talk about them as well. And yeah, I met my parents, so a little bit of a different setting around me. But tomorrow I'm traveling to Copenhagen, so it's gonna be interesting and exciting. So let's go.
I know, right? You're closer and closer out on your way to Malmo. Jasmine, you're ready for Croatia to slay today. It's his country. I'm not just saying because.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone in the chat as well. I'm excited, and actually I had a day off today, so I hoped to enjoy in the rehearsals and really immerse myself in them, but yeah, nothing happened up until a few hours ago, so now we're gonna do it.
And last and certainly not least, Daniel, who you're really excited about seeing today?
Oh, well, I don't know.
Lots of options.
I'm from a flat in London, so I'm just from London. I don't know. I suppose I saw some of the clips already, so I don't know excited about who I'm going to see or who I liked seeing, I guess.
Actually, we can delve into that in just a second, because that is a good point. There's a difference between, that part and the other one you just mentioned, because some of the clips are out already. But before we jump ahead, let me actually explain what's happening. Not everyone knows in the chat. So basically, this is the second round of individual rehearsals. Everyone in the first semi rehearsed for the second time. And it's usually the semi where the clips, the camera work, 30 seconds usually, are being made available to the public. Those clips are usually being decided by the delegations what they want to show or not want to show, for that matter. So they pick the 30 seconds they want, and then that goes online, usually on YouTube. Apparently this year, they're doing it again a little different, and it has not been communicated to anyone anywhere. But apparently they gave each broadcaster the ability to upload their personal snippet to social media or on TV or whatever they want to do prematurely, I guess. So by the time we went live, I discovered, I think, 8 clips that have already been uploaded on social media, the 30-second clips by the broadcasters. Apparently, there were some other snippets that leaked that are not official. I saw Albania's clip. Someone recorded the screen, and I will not share that one because that's a leak, apparently, and we don't share leaks here. That is just not, it's on their terms, or when the EBU is ready to share their clips. But we assume that's usually how it is. At some point, the EBU will put out a long video, by long I mean like 8 to 9 minutes, with all the rehearsal clips in a row. That started doing that last year. I do remember, didn't it come out like at 10 o'clock Central European time last year? Does anyone remember? It was definitely after 9 o'clock.
Yeah, it was quite late.
Yeah. I remember that. So we'll have to wait. So that's why we didn't come on this early, because we would have been like, we already saw a bunch of pictures. There was not a whole lot we can talk about. So at some point, we will get the information. But we already have a few clips. My hope was to go in running order. But since only some clips have been made available and they've been made officially, I'm okay with sharing them. And we'll do that in a moment. So I'm going to go around the table here once again. Everyone think about I know some of you may have seen some of the clips, but just as of this morning, let's pretend you haven't seen anything yet. Which countries were you most looking forward to see today? Whether it's your favorite or you're really excited about more camera work. I'm going to start with you, Roy.
Can I pick one or a couple?
Two. Up to two. Let's do that. So
okay. Well, I was most excited for Ireland and Azerbaijan. I would really like to see the camera angles and how it really will work together, from the pictures to moving screen time, basically.
Yeah. I knew we were going to have the same answer. That's why I let you go first, because mine will also. But I also put Croatia in there because that I really want to see the energy. So I'm really excited about Croatia as well. So I'll pick that one. Jasmine, do you have which one do you have in mind? If you have to pick two.
Slovenia and Ireland. Slovenia because it's in my top 5, and Ireland because I just want to see as much of that as possible because I'm really intrigued.
Okay. How about you, Daniel?
Ireland for sure, and obviously because of my own vested interests, Cyprus as well.
Okay, that's true. That I can't blame you. Jonathan, who do you have in mind?
Well, Slovenia for sure, because that is one I was really curious to see how the camera work would turn around, and Portugal, as that was my favorite first rehearsal, and I have very high expectations from them.
Okay, wonderful. So I think then we should get started with what we have. We may not have them in order, but what I don't want to do is just sit around here and look pretty, even though we're really good at that. But, I want to at least start looking at some of the information that we have. And somebody even said, another clip has dropped, so we'll work on
Ireland
that.
just dropped a few minutes ago. So
okay, so see,
wow.
as I knew they're slowly dropping, but I'm hoping that at some point we get the whole thing together. So so there's also this thing called copyright, so I may have to mute the stuff at some point. So if you get mad at me, feel free to check out those clips yourself on social media. But I don't want the YouTube gods come down on me too much. So keep that in mind when we're sharing that. And everyone in the chat, of course, I want to hear your thoughts, your input as well, and make sure to do that by putting @ESC United, so I know you're talking to us and it pops up on my timeline. So, Daniel, since your country is first, may as well, in the running order, let's jump right into it. So, what I'll do is they released the broadcaster, the official 30-second snippets that they posted themselves for everyone to see. And once we're done, we'll talk about it. Are you guys ready?
yes.
Let's talk Eurovision. So apparently I cannot mute them when I upload the video, so I have to probably share them through social media for the next one. So I was like, I cannot mute it. I cannot mute
I
it.
think you'll be fine with these.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if it's France. They're just
We don't have France today, so that's a problem for another day.
That is true. That is true. So let's talk about. So of course, Daniel, you are the star. for this clip.
Ugh.
What are your thoughts?
I don't think it was that bad at all. I do think the angles are a bit all over the place, and I don't think it sort of does justice in the break bit, maybe. But the thing about it is, I kind of want to see it. I don't get enough of it. I want to see it again and again, and that's the kind of sort of feeling it left me. But I'm sort of a bit unsure, but I feel like it's a bit all over the place in terms of what you're seeing on the angle. But I do love the dancing and sort of, but I do feel there's something going on with the cameras that maybe needs to be a bit tighter, because especially there's some bits where it's flashing white, black and white, and then it goes into red. It kind of needs to be a bit closer and not so distant. And that's the thing I noticed for a lot of these clips, the camera angles are quite wide as well. So.
Yeah, it's very interesting, not to spoil it too much or get ahead of ourselves, but I see like a handful of clips. No, not you, me. What I'm going to say right now is that I think that's a recurring theme. Some of the camera work that I've noticed in some of the clips. So I would, at least according to my opinion, and I would love to hear from some of you guys as well, what you're thinking. To be fair, I feel like the BBC set the standard so high because one of the best camera work we've seen in quite some time. So I feel like it's almost, it's kind of sucks going after the BBC. But yeah, so your first impression, Jonathan.
Well, I'll echo what you two said about the camera work, although I think that I realized why they're doing that, because the stage is relatively small to other years, so they want to make it look slightly bigger with these handful of wide shots. Probably will feature the audience in that as well, which would make things look bigger than they actually are. And I think that will work in their benefit in time when there is audience there. But about the rehearsal, it's good. It's a nice opener. I think that there is nothing outstanding about it, but it doesn't, like the song itself also doesn't inspire to be outstanding. It's just a good pop song, and that should be enough to qualify, in my opinion.
Okay, Liza is saying my thoughts. Well, first of all, was the camera work isn't the greatest, and then I saw all the other clips released and realized it might be a Malmo problem. Yeah, I had the same thought, but I'm not sure not everyone has seen everything, so we'll go maybe see if others agree with that as well. The stage is overwhelming her, and just saying I don't know where to look first. Roy, do you agree? What are your thoughts?
I do agree, and I think that especially the camera cuts are way too frequent. Like she's doing a dance break in the part that they've shown, but you can't really see because you have the camera shots going from left to right to the center, and it's a bit difficult to see her actually dancing. And I also think that it may be a little bit too dark. Like it's very black and dark green, and it doesn't really. I thought it would go like the more vibrant way to really like bang the colors in your face, and that's not really happening. So I'm not sure if this actually has the impact that they wanted to have, and yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. I do think it is still a good enough song, and she sounded decent enough, I think to really go to the final, but I'm a little disappointed with this clip, not gonna lie.
Yeah, so I actually kind of agree with what you're saying, especially the lighting in the show. That's very dark, but it could be really just mostly because this is the part where the dance break comes in, right? And I don't know why they did that last year as well. Everyone showed us. Israel did the same thing, and was it Poland as well? They just gave us as the teaser the dance breaks. Like everybody wants us to see their dance breaks. I mean, that's the least important thing to me. Sound like show me the actual song, the singing. So that was a little bit annoyed. So yeah, I thought it was dark. Clearly, we didn't even hear much of the voice because the chorus clearly has the backup vocal. It's also cranked up a bit, so we couldn't even really tell if she's a good singer or not. So to me, the clip was very non-telling almost. I mean, we got a little bit of an idea, but again, I was disappointed that they gave us the dance break. I'm like,
do you think that was on purpose, maybe?
Could be, and I'm trying to think, but then again, why they do that every time? Because again, I mentioned Israel, Poland last year did the same thing. So who else has dance breaks? Are we gonna get one from Austria as well? And remind me, who else has dance breaks right now? I'm trying to erase
Malta, Georgia.
Yeah, there's so
in a way, Croatia.
Which one?
Croatia, in a way, but it's just a very different kind of a dance break.
Almost saying that earlier. I'm like, it is, but it's more like an instrumental. It's not really like a dance break. I mean, even though they're dancing, I get what you.
I don't think that parts will be in our clip. I doubt he will put that. But yeah, these dance breaks became popular after 2022. And I think Armenia last year also had a dance break in their rehearsal, I believe so. So it's just a trend, I believe. So, but for this performance or this rehearsal clip in particular, I was looking at the visuals as well, and I liked the visuals in the background. It was like watery kind of visuals. I just wonder if they are following the beat or the rhythm or something. I would like that. And we shouldn't forget that she's only 16, 17 or whatever. And I know what I was like when I was 17, so she's doing great. I will not hold her accountable of every single detail. I think she's doing her best, and so far it looks good. I agree what you said about the camera work. Could be better, but I doubt that's her choice. It's either the delegation or the producer's issue.
Yeah, so we'll see. And it's true. I mean, she's the youngest one, right, this year. At the same time, if you decide to send an artist, it's like you have to apply same criteria to all of them, whether they're 16 or 69 or even older. We talk about Engelbert Humperdinck. Go ahead. What?
I do think she's doing better than the guy from Greece last year already.
You like it better?
For sure.
No, in terms of her ability and her sort of giving it all, it's already much more than, say, last year Greece, I think. Wait, that's the vibe I'm getting. Yeah.
All right. So while we're talking, I'm going to put up a poll now, because one of the things I promised on social media is that we're going to have, of course, an official ESC United ranking that you guys in the chat, you are going to be in charge of. And the ranking is how it works. You rank your impression of this 30-second clip, not necessarily how you like the song or just how you feel about these 30 seconds. And like you hope you loved it, you liked it, it's just okay, or you didn't like it. And based on the score from the poll, we'll create a ranking. So get ready. I'm going to start the poll right now. You have like just a little bit to put that on there. So make sure to vote, and we'll go from there. So as of right now, raise your hand. Oh, there's somebody else joining. Sorry, I forgot. I didn't realize that. Hey, there you are. Hey, buddy. How are you, Alistair? Alex?
I am good. How are we all?
I am doing great. I think this is like the first time on the live stream for you. Is that correct? Or have you been on there before? I'm trying to remember.
No, it's first time live.
First time, because I know we hung out last year in beautiful Liverpool. So I feel like you have been on here. But why don't you introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, I'm Alistair. I've been with, I think, the team now for almost 2 years, from a very grey Scotland. I kind of focus mainly for Sweden and Finland for us, and I'm quite excited. Only 4 days now until I fly off to Malmo now, so nice exciting time.
That's exciting. It's I'm a little jealous, but good jealous, happy jealous. I just hope it's going to rain. It's going to be windy all day.
Hey,
you guys,
stop that.
Look, I'm used to that. It's fine.
True, right? It's like that's just nice. Okay, so have you seen the Cyprus clip yet yourself? That was posted on social media earlier today.
And I agree with what was being said about kind of the camera cutting. I think my biggest thing is I'm a dance break hater. I really can't stand them. So it being another just common, like, I think we spoke about it last year, Matt, just the amount of dance breaks that are coming in, but the fact that's the first song this year, I'm a wee bit like, oh, right, okay.
I know. It's fun once in one song kind of thing, right? Once, yeah, sure, I can deal with it. But if it's happening all the time, you want to see me dance? You want to see me dance? No. Oh, the answer is no. But yeah, thank you, first of all, Kenny, for the super chat. Thanks to you all for the great job. Always a pleasure to watch you all, by the way. How is Gaston doing? Oh, I'll get him later. He finally fell asleep on the couch. We've been playing. Actually, I was almost late for this live stream. I was playing. I was like, oh my God, 3 minutes. Roy and Jonathan were waiting on me. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. But he was so cute. So he's sleeping right now. I don't want to wake him because then he wants to play the entire time. But at some point, he'll wake up. That's just how he is. But he is doing just Fabulous. So I think it's time to close this poll. Here are the results. Suspenseful pause. There you go. So 61% say it is okay. So just something in between. 16% say they don't like it. 16% they like it. And 5% say they love it. So it's lukewarm. I think that's fair to say. Are you surprised by that, Daniel, or are you kind of like that's just kind of?
Oh, no, at all. No, at all. No, at all.
No.
And, no. I also like. I suppose it's sort of whatever. I mean, it's just. All these are just clips, right? So
yes, correct.
We have to bear in mind, know, so it's not
absolutely.
Like you've seen the whole thing, and that's the thing. I don't know. The question is, are these things good for the artist? I mean, I suppose they provide content, but all these TikToks and clips. I mean, I don't know. I suppose it provides. It's a question mark, isn't it? How good or useful they are.
Well, that's one of the things they also need to understand. Now, of course, the EBU, they made that decision, right, to not show us anything. So now we have to do even more guessing and speculating, for that reason.
Yeah.
So, all the benefits come also with disadvantages. So, the only thing we can do, not talk about it. Everyone hide until the actual show is on, and we want to be excited. So,
did you...
Go ahead.
Sorry, did you calculate the average, or how are we going to rank them?
I'm going to do that after the fact. I'm going to put up an extra video for that. So
I've already
there will be a ranking video coming up probably tonight, so morning for you all when you wake up. So that's what it is. So are you surprised about the results, Jasmine, of the poll?
No, not really. I think that was kind of expected.
Yeah, so I think it's overall just more of a, okay response, but that could change because once again, 30 seconds from a clip that they chose to see us. There could be A, they made not the right decision to send the right clip, or B, as I think you was Daniel who pointed that out, is that maybe they're trying to deliberately keeping other things away from us. So who knows? We'll find out hopefully soon. So we do have Serbia, the second country of the night, also the clip ready. So I'm going to play this real quick as well. So get ready, y'all. Pay attention because I'll quiz you afterwards. There will be trivia. Okay, there you have it. That was Serbia. Well, I got to go based on facial expressions right now. I got to go to Roy first because that was like a moment. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. It was very much a wide shot, and I had hoped maybe for a bit more of a close-up, and the fog was like only very faintly there, so maybe they could ramp up that a little bit as well. Like I just miss a bit of mysteriousness and a bit more connection with the camera from this clip. Maybe it's through the rest of the song, of course. We only have 30 seconds, but yeah. And also like the audio quality really doesn't sound incredible, and we know she can sing very well, so it's definitely not a her issue. It sounded a bit odd. I don't know. Yeah,
it's very interesting because I heard the same concerns by other people online. So I think you're kind of not off. What more like I wouldn't call it the popular opinion because I don't know, but you're not the only one that's put it that way. You, Jonathan, what are you thinking?
Yes, definitely the audio quality is really weird, especially the Poland clip. Like we'll get to it later, but there has been mixing issues all over the place with these rehearsals, I feel like, and I hope that they'll fix them. This rehearsal, I really liked the vibe that they were going with, but I'm not sure if the pictures that we've seen are from a later part. We've seen pictures with lots and lots of smoke, and we've seen pictures that portray this even more mysterious and more enchanting imagery. And I would like to see that more. I don't know. Maybe they hit that on purpose and it's on the second verse and it's going to be like, wow, amazing when the time comes and we'll see the live. And maybe it's just a rehearsal malfunction of the smoke machine. The smoke machine is very tricky and we know that it can be a hit or a miss in any different rehearsal or performance. So
yeah, no, that's I can agree with that as well. Alistair, by the way, do you prefer Alistair or Ali? What's your preferred?
I go by either. It was just what I wrote when I wrote it there.
Okay, I was like, I don't want to, you're like, go ahead. Okay, anyway, what are your thoughts?
I think like this is one of my, so I need to like be quite upfront with this. I have been really bad for listening to the songs this year. The issue, like I've been busy, and then the new Taylor Swift album came out, so I've kind of just forgotten. But this has been one of the very few songs that stuck in my head. That one kind of line is constantly in my head, and I think it's given me that kind of like the Bulgaria vibes from 2020 and 2021. That kind of I love these slow kind of meaningful songs, and I think that's the vibe I'm getting. I never noticed the audio quality of this one. The one I noticed was just before I joined was actually the Irish one. Is the first time I've noticed the audio. But I feel like we've got to say like this is the same every year. I think every year we have rehearsals, we turn around and say, oh, there's audio issues, and they do usually get fixed. But I think this is like, it's a dark horse sort of thing in my mind in this semi. But then at the same time, with it being second, I do fear for it getting lost within a televote.
Oh dear. How about you, Daniel? Any other thoughts to share? By the way, before you do, actually, just as a reminder, everyone, I did put the poll up as well in the chat. So vote if you think you loved this rehearsal clip, or anything you didn't like it, or anything in between. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, it wasn't bad. I wouldn't sort of diss it. I did think, again, it was all very wide angles. I didn't really get a feeling for her. I didn't sort of, and until the very end. And then, I don't know, and also something about the prop behind bothered me a bit. It just looked, but maybe it would have, I would have maybe in the clip seen her on it or something like that. And I have to say, I don't like what she's wearing at all.
Yeah, and some people said that actually. So it's just like, you'd think it's too boring, or is it just not a nice blend, or what is it you don't like?
Not very flattering, and it's all very clumpy and kind of sort of I don't know. It just, I don't know. There's something, when you see something, you like it, you don't like it. I don't like the style. I think there's a lot going on in the outfit. Maybe.
No, I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm really bad. Like something like, I don't like the outfit, and then people ask, "What don't you like?" I don't know. I'm not a fashion person. I just can say I like it or I don't like it.
No,
so I'm really bad.
Yeah,
that's how I always feel. So I'm always like, yeah. So, Jasmine, do you have anything else?
Well, I'm in the minority, I guess, because I really like what she's wearing. Well, we have rehearsals to see what works and what doesn't work, and it's good that things get improved after rehearsals. So I guess there is still time to fix the audio quality and camera work and everything. I just don't know why Serbia chose so many wide shots, because as a song like this should have intimate camera work, like really close camera work, close-ups or shots of her face, and not like huge empty stage everywhere everything is dark and black. I believe what we saw was the first verse, so the first and the chorus, so the beginning of the song, and I believe it's going to evolve into something more dynamic and more accessible for the audience. Yeah, I'm still a bit worried, but I still believe it can qualify and do well.
Yeah, I mean, not all. So I kind of agree with most what you were saying as well, everyone. I'm starting to think this is not a delegation decision almost in terms of the camera work, because it seems to be a recurring theme that some of the camera shots, there are lots of wide shots again, like things that we always complained about in the past. And once again, the BBC did a really good job walking away from that. So I feel like we're going back to it. And there's some other performances that particularly makes it stand out. And here, yes, I also would expect more close-ups at the same time. Maybe they will come there at some point, because I do have, I mean, I understand there are moments where they have to zoom out with a splash on the floor and all of that stuff. I get that. But yeah, I think with this song, you need lots of close-up because it's a very intimate, quiet song, and you want to have that intimate, close feel with that. But I like her sound, and I still like the song. So hopefully things will come together when we see the whole clip. For now, I am going to share the full poll result. Let me finalize this one. So 40% say it's okay. 35% say I like it, 12% say I love it, and only 10% did not like what they saw. So that is I think I would have to look it up. I think slightly better what we saw with Cyprus. Liza is saying so far the sound design is worrying me. Very concerned that certain acts with, I guess, weaker vocals are going to sound a lot worse than they actually are. And that is actually, Liza, stick around because I have a very good comment on one of the clips that is coming up shortly. But I actually kind of agree with what you are saying. And as always, people in the chat at ESC United, if you want me to, address, or ask your questions. As of right now, remind me again. Oh, let me just say, who in this chat, raise your hand. Daniel's like, click. Oh no, the camera disappeared as I was asking.
No, I'm sure
He's like, I know, it's fine. It was just funny timing. If you are concerned about Serbia's qualification, a little bit, not like certain, but a little worried. So everyone but Jasmine. So you feel also a little, or I didn't see your hand. I wasn't sure.
Well, I have a comment regarding that. Like, I think one other country is in much more bigger danger than Serbia. That's all I'm gonna say so far, like right now.
So I agree with you on paper. If Serbia would be in the second half, I would maybe have a different situation. But I still am stuck on this because the first 7 songs on paper are a lot more competitive than a good amount of songs in the second half. Not all of them, right? So, and if you listen to the betting odds, every song from the first half is destined to qualify. And I don't believe that. I just cannot, because there is a recency bias. Number one, right? People's brain is just how they're wired. And number two, it's reality. We all know more people watch the end of the show than the beginning of the show. And Spain, particularly, like they've released like data like a year or two ago. Do you remember anyone seeing that as well? Where they showed like how many people were watching the beginning of the show versus at the end. And it was a significant difference. So running order can make or break a performance. And people say it doesn't. That's not reality. I'm not saying it's the only thing, but it certainly has an impact. So that's why I'm thinking if there were songs that could miss out, I'm worried about the first 2, Cyprus and Serbia. Not because they're bad songs, but just because I am worried that they could be overshadowed. Anyone agrees or disagrees with me that want to speak up?
I definitely agree. And I also think that for Serbia, it's a bit unfortunate that the other song that is kind of similar is right near the end, that is Portugal. So I think that when people tune in later, they'll be attached to Portugal and maybe know I've seen Serbia. So it could definitely make a difference.
Yeah. Do you think Serbia would have been a safe qualifier if juries voted? Alistair, you're nodding. You think that they needed the juries?
Yeah, I am the biggest televote hater, and I will happily say that on a stream. Like, I hate the 100% televote because it's killing too many songs, or it's making us think that too many songs are going to get killed. And I think especially for songs like this, which deserve to be seen in the final, because you've got to think everyone doesn't see the semis. These songs just lose out because the televote. I don't want to say a televote forgets about them, but they get lost in the mangle of the middle. And I think when you have kind of big, outlandish performance from like Croatia and Ireland within the semi-final, you're then not going to think about something that's slow and quiet. And I think that's where the juries would help these sorts of songs.
Yeah. No, I think that's a very valid point. And of course, it always raises the concern of us getting more and more, for the lack of a better term, joke novelty acts, right? Because in the semis, all you need to care about is the televote. So that is certainly another aspect that I'm thinking of. Okay, we have so many countries to talk about, so we can always come back to Serbia as well. Lithuania's clip has not been out yet, if I'm not mistaken, right? They have
I've
not
seen it anywhere.
Okay, so we'll come back to Lithuania, of course. So I do have Ireland's clip lined up, so I'll go ahead and play. It's in a different format, so it looks a little weird on screen, by the way, so don't judge me. All right, everyone, here we go. Wow. Oh God. That's the beginning. Those are like the first 30 seconds of the song, basically. Hooked. I think this is going to be a polarizing one, maybe, because people love it or hate it, but it will not be forgotten. And that is what we need. Roy, I'm sorry, I know I keep going first to you, but your facial expressions just they get to me. And I saw some other ones as well. I'm going to next, but go ahead, Roy. What are your thoughts?
This might be the greatest start to Eurovision song in so many years. This is epic. Like, you just start off with no lights, and then boom, her face lights up, and like they just stand there so commandingly in the camera as well, and the vocals sounded pretty good as well. Oh, I really loved everything that I saw. Of course, it's like filmed like this, and I guess the social media team decided to use that part on probably Instagram or something like that. This looked incredible, and I'm so happy because I quite really like this song, and I would love to see Ireland in the final. And I think this is a good step forwards towards qualification.
Well, I could be wrong, but Jonathan, you had a skeptical look on your face. Or is that
not skeptical at all? It was impressed.
Okay,
very much impressed. Yes, I did not expect that. That was amazing. Like, I don't know if it's on purpose, the vertical thing, or it's just like the platform they uploaded it to. But if it is actual starting vertically, and then when the like chorus kicks in, like the slow part, it opens up wide, and you see all of the cute LEDs with the blue and pink color. That would be perfect, and then it can transition. Like, I'm already imagining in my head all of the transitions forward with the circles of candle lighting up in the second verse, etc., etc. This is wow. Wow. Well done, okay. Ireland. This is certainly a qualifier. Like, come on.
Daniel, your thoughts?
Oh, that looked really good. That looked
okay,
really,
see,
really
you
good.
also made an interesting face. So I was like, I don't know if he didn't like it. I just
no. I was just a bit like, I mean,
was
I was just thinking about. Well, I was just thinking, yeah. I mean, I have the same thing, but I was just thinking, like, I guess they chose that. So obviously, is that what it's going to be like? I mean, because it does kind of work like that, but I don't know if it would work. You know, like it has to be, you know, starting kind of small, isn't it, and quite claustrophobic, and then probably expand out. But sort of, I was just thinking about, that's what I was trying to think, like, how is this what it's going to be like? But it's really good. It really grabs you, and I do sort of, I did worry about the song before, not so much now, even like when I saw the thing, but I do. It is a question mark whether people will like it or not. It's very, what's the word? I don't know what's the word with the, you like it or not? No, okay, don't worry.
I know.
You get
polarizing? Divisive?
Polarizing, yes, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right, I got to hear everyone's opinion. This one, of course, Jasmine.
I am in love. And
I'm surprised. Not that because you, but everyone is. I thought there will be more polarization on our stream as well, but no.
Like, when the song got released first, I liked it a lot. Then over time, I became like, okay, it's different, but whatever. And then day by day, it's getting better and better again. And now that we have these visuals, it's very close to my top 5 now, I believe. I have to remind everyone what we had at the beginning in the national final and what we have now.
Yes.
The improvement is massive. And that moment when they grab the dancer's hand is just brilliant. I love everything what I saw, and it's divisive, but so was Hatari in 2019, and that got so many televote. I remember in the final, so I believe this can get televote as well. Yeah, super excited and very happy for Ireland that they didn't choose anything else from that national selection, because whatever, like any other option would be dead last. So I'm happy.
Imagine they would have listened to that jury that they, you know, that boy band from the. Anyway, let's not. I get PTSD still. Okay.
I just want to say the full video has been released. I can see it. Just so you know.
Okay, it's the same one though, right? Just in a different angle. I would assume.
The full screen.
I'll check out that because we got to go to bed. As long as it's the same one, I think we're good. Alistair, are you the voice of dissent, or what are your thoughts?
Maybe. I don't know. I think looking back on Eurosong, I loved Go to Ban so much. It was awful live, don't get me wrong. But then I heard a version of Go to Ban yesterday on TikTok and I actually really liked it again. And I think there was a bit of me that always wanted Gaeilge back at Eurovision. So I think that's where my leaning goes. But with this song, Bambie is such a great ambassador for Ireland and I think it's a good song. I don't know. And like that clip, don't get me wrong, has probably changed my perceptions on its thing me for qualification. But I'm still sitting there going, it's Ireland, so they're not going to qualify. And I think that's just where my brain's been trained into.
Yeah.
I want it to qualify for the sake of it being Ireland, but I am not the biggest fan of it.
That's fair. And we need some, different opinions here. But that's a good comeback, Cassie. I think this proves that the camera work is a delegation issue, not an SVT issue. I mean, you have a good point here because there is a case to be made that this little snippet already told us a slightly different story. Keep in mind, you can still make minor changes after the second rehearsal. The first one, you can make bigger ones. After the second one, they're going to be minor. So I don't know how much it's going to change, especially when you have to change camera work. That's a little bit more work. So I'm a little bit concerned about that, but not for Ireland, clearly, at least from what we've seen so far. So let's go ahead and end this poll and see where Ireland falls in the vote. 57%, they said they loved it. Who would have thought that this loud song, from Ireland would get like so much support on the clip here? Don't like is actually number 2. Again, polarizing, right? 17%, even though it's significantly lower, it's still like it gets 15% and only okay 9%. It does not surprise me that the indifferent group, the it's okay, is the lowest one because it's difficult to be indifferent about this one, isn't it? That's at least my thinking. So Alistair, not the only one. I'm going to ask the resident, but you are still on the fence about qualification for Ireland, right? That's what you said?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I want to be shocked by it because I think I was shocked by that 30-second clip, and to me that draws you in. But then at the same time, it's so out there, it's so different, and it's very loud that I'm a wee bit like, is Joe Public going to vote for that?
Yeah,
I don't know. That's where my fear starts landing in. Is it may be art of a form, and it's very Celtic. It has all the mythology and all that to it, but is the public going to, number one, understand that, and then number 2, want to then vote for that?
Yeah. Giotti said something interesting.
I can say...
Yeah, go ahead. No, finish it. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I can say that going into rehearsals, I'm still not a huge fan of the song itself. Like, I find it okay, and I'm very happy that Ireland chose something different. But like, I was never a big fan of the song itself, and those rehearsals managed to turn me into much more of a fan of the song. So it clearly has an impact because I never thought that I'd be going into this stream and saying, yes, Ireland is an obvious qualifier. So like,
I know
they managed to do something.
It's very interesting that you say that because it's, number one, a good transition to what I was going to say and the comment below. I don't like the song, but I appreciate the art. In some ways, it kind of goes down a lot of ways. And Roy's probably pleased to hear. I'm sure you haven't seen my my timeline yet on Twitter or on my videos, but do you know who my favorite was yesterday for rehearsals?
Yesterday?
Yeah. It was
no,
Norway.
I did not.
Norway
Yes.
blew me away with just what I saw there. And just with that shitty clip, I was like, oh my God. I mean, I'd say shitty, like short, and not good, great quality. I was like, this is amazing. And sometimes a great staging can really make a song pop. Like, for instance, Ukraine 21, that came second in the televote. I forgot the name right now. I don't listen to it in studio version. I didn't before, but when I watch it live, it's an experience, right? And I think Norway kind of falls in the same category. Now, you can make a case for Ireland. It kind of goes into that as well. So the staging is of uttermost importance, I think. So that is certainly very interesting. So looking, and of course, I hate having to move on from Ireland for a moment, but we got to be respectful towards the other countries as well. The next one I have on the list is Ukraine. And I'm going to bring up the clip here as well. Oh, I haven't uploaded it yet. Oh, somebody say something while I'm doing that.
Something.
Say something. Everybody talk. Any other thoughts on Ireland that they want to share?
Gosh,
you need to be quick on your feet.
It's just really cool to see them.
The outfit. I'm gonna say that I love the outfit and the makeup that is quite striking, and I love that they're wearing black and everything is dark, and then you can see only the face. It's kind of creepy. Maybe for little children, could be a bit stressful, but I think many people will be surprised and appreciate something unique and different.
That's true. That is true. All right, let's jump into Ukraine. Give me 1 second, and then I'll see you on the other side. Okay. Okay. Who wants to go first? Daniel, what are your thoughts?
I mean, they just do Eurovision really well, don't they? I mean, that was, and that, you know, like with the angles there, that just worked really well because you just see her from wide walking up and from the back. It was just, I mean, I had a bit of a ride with this song because when it was like in the run up to the national final, I was like, oh, I love this song. And then after, as soon as they got it, I was a bit like, oh, I don't like it now. And then now again, I'm sort of getting into Eurovision sort of intensely. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's really outstanding. I don't know how they do it. I don't know what's in the water in the Ukraine, but it's sort of really, it's very captivating, and they just really know how to stage really well. I'm curious to see how the rap bit kind of, because you don't see that. So I don't know where, is it Alyona, is that right? Where she would be, and if it's going to, you know, how the rap mixes in with this kind of very earthy, sun, planetary kind of thing going on. Be interesting to see. Yeah. Okay. But yes, thumbs up, thumbs up.
Thumbs up from Daniel.
Yeah.
Alistair?
I love this song. I don't know why. This is the thing is I cannot explain why, but it's one of those, it's another kind of earworm, but it's also just very good. And I think the visual's going to help that. Her vocals kind of worry me. I don't know if it's just because it sounds different to the studio version, but I'm confident for it, and I think it will do very well no matter what. Not only for it being from Ukraine, but it's a song that I think will surprise a lot of people how many votes it gets, because it is a very good song.
Okay. Oh, so another positive comment here. Jasmine, what are you thinking?
I was not the biggest fan of the song. It's not in my top 10, but I like the improvement again. I see that they've been thinking about it, that they've been working on it, and the visuals are beautiful. The flares in the background, somehow it really fits with the song. The prop on stage, I find it's interesting. Not sure if it's fitting, but it serves the purpose. And I wonder, just like Daniel said about Alyona, where is she? Why she's not on stage? Will she leave the stage at some point? Or will she be there from the beginning or only in the middle part? I don't know that. That's what I'm curious about. But good work, Ukraine. I mean, we never doubt that Ukraine's going to do well, and deservingly, I guess.
How about you, Roy?
You first need to start the poll. People in the chat have been asking.
Yeah, no, it's it took me a second to type this up.
Okay, don't worry. Just wanted to mention it too.
Yeah, I just.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this song at all. I just really don't get the hype behind it. But I mean, Ukraine are so good at staging. Like, this looked really crisp, and just what she wears and how epically, like a warrior, she kind of walks up to that rock. With the visuals of like on the side of it as well, it looks really cool and fits the part of the song. I still think the song itself is a bit processional and a bit like, I don't know, but having it staged like this, I can totally get behind it getting a good result. And yeah, Ukraine are powerhouses of Eurovision, and they prove it yet again, and it's awesome to see that.
Okay, and Jonathan. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I have to give big compliments to Jerry Heil for going such a long way with her vocal performance that we've seen going through the years, improving a bit every year. Like if you compare 2023 was last year's national final, When God Shut the Door, to this, what we've heard here, this is like, there is no way to even compare them. This is very good, and I'm very happy that she worked on her vocals. The staging is good. I'm not a big fan of that one shot in the beginning where you can see the base of the ram. It's kind of awkward in my opinion, and they can fix that a little bit. Like, I don't want to see that, but it just looks a little bit awkward. But when she climbs it up, it looks fantastic. And yeah, no doubt that Ukraine is going for another very respectable result.
So I'm going to be the Alistair of this group. And by that, I mean maybe a little bit of a contrarian. But I mean, I like the clip, but I think I was only whelmed. Yeah, it looked crisp. It looked nice. But I guess I was disappointed by the clip because where is Alyona? Alyona, that's like why they're only focused on her. I'm like, I wish I would have chosen a different clip. I almost didn't feel like I saw enough here. Also, her voice has gotten better, but it's still a little not. It's still, the problem for me is I got a little bit distracted by the vocals, and I was listening to her like, "Are you gonna stay on key? Stay. No, you're good. Yeah." It was always just on the edge a little, so that made me a little nervous almost. The coloring is really nice, the staging, right? And obviously they're not going to not qualify, So maybe for me, I was. Because I'm also like the song itself is just an okay song for me, a tad repetitive. So I don't necessarily think the staging itself really like changed my opinion. So I do like it, but I'm not like as crazy about it as maybe some of you felt. So it's very interesting because I'm usually I thought I'm going to be, usually agreeing with a lot of people. But yeah, so that's also probably just a personal thing here. Clearly, people really like it, and I'm sure as I'm going to close this poll, people will mostly disagreeing with me, which is fine. Let's end this poll so I can write down the results. We got 51% loving it. No surprise. 27% liking it. We got 16% that said only okay, and 4%, which is the lowest one so far, don't like it. Jasmine, not a surprise seeing these results?
No, not at all. I expect similar situation at Eurovision as well. With this package, I will not try to predict, but I'm almost sure that Ukraine is top 10 this year again.
Okay, yeah, I think the stars aligning up for Ukraine in terms of Eurovision success one more time. Now, in this group here, raise your hand if you think that Ukraine is a potential winner contender for the victory. Oh, nobody. Okay, I thought that somebody would actually go for it. So where do we guys think, Alistair, like top 5? Do you think top 10? Where do you think Ukraine is most likely to end up?
Yeah, probably you're going left hand side no matter what. I think Ukraine are just pretty comfortable no matter what and how well they do. But I would never put Adesius. I don't know who would win, but I would never put them up there. They're not one of the countries that I would ever talk about for that.
Yeah, well, the betting odds disagree, of course, but I agree with you actually. So it's just interesting because I assumed there would be at least one person. Jonathan, you also don't think it's going to be it's not going to be in contention to win at all?
I don't think it has what it takes to actually like swipe both televote and jury and win it all, but I think it sits comfortably at around 7th to 4th, like that range of it will do well, it will do good, it won't do that good. Like I can't see it uniting both televote and jury enough to win.
Okay. Yeah, no, I can see that as well. I do think it has probably more televote appeal than jury appeal once again, kind of like what happened in the last couple of years. We'll have to wait and see if that's going to pan out. So let's move on, and we can always come back to the other countries, to Poland. I do have the Polish clip as well. That one was one of the first ones to come out, apparently. I'm sure most of us have seen it. But Let's share it with everyone anyways. Here we go. So there you have it. That is Poland with very elaborate staging. And I know that there will be dividing opinions on this one out there. So why don't I don't go first on this one, since I love the staging. I know some people saying, there goes Poland, throwing everything but the kitchen sink on there. But I'm like, I love this futuristic means Red Riding Hood means chess game look, and they just go all out, sitting on a horse, having the rooks that dance in different colors. I'm here for it. It's a visual feast, and I know they picked on Poland the last couple of years as well with the visuals, and guess who made it to the finals? Poland. So in your face. So I am actually quite happy with what I'm seeing. I'm not as happy with what I'm hearing. That's the only thing. I said it online before. She wasn't like horrible, but she's also just a little bit off key, right? It's just enough for me to be distracted. And they need to, because even like in the music video, the track, the chorus, they have like multiple voices, so they need to crack up the backup vocals a lot more to make it more rich and full, because right now it's too distracting. She sounded like at the very end where she was singing the verses way better. I think she's better at the lower notes than the higher notes. But, you know, inconsistency in singing is a problem. When you have this just a little off key, it'll just take you out of the moment, and people, it's kind of what I'm always thinking about Ireland with Leslie Roy. She was always a little bit off key, and even though the staging was elaborate and pretty, it didn't matter in the end, because we were just so like, ugh. And I don't want Poland to end up in that category. But I'm not going to lie, I am enjoying it, the visuals, and I'm happy. All right, let's go to you, Jasmine. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm on the same team with you here. I mean, I'm not in love with it. I am happy that they tried their best with the staging. It is gimmicky, and this huge horse is there. But maybe that's a distraction from poor vocals, or she is trying to not pressure herself with singing to the fullest. So maybe that's also a thing, even though I doubt that's the reason why we have this poor vocal. But yeah, I like the red and white theme, the chess pieces, the dancer. I'm intrigued by the whole thing, and I think we will see something else. I don't think this is the end of it. So I believe there is some other hidden surprises here. However, I think people will not buy it, and it's slightly leaning to non-qualifier for me at this point. I expected to non-qualify more than yesterday. I was more convinced yesterday.
Oh, well, that can be good. All right, we got to go a little quicker here, because we got more stuff coming up here. We're already an hour into this. Jonathan, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm sorry to break the Poland stand train, but I'm not really featuring this one. Yeah, I don't know. It's all too much to me, and it feels very messy. Like, if she would have been able to sing it through, that would have been one thing, but not being able to keep your breath during the song, and having those dancing between a rook to, oh, I'm on the floor and I'm on a horse, and then I'm on top of a rook, and like, why are you doing this? Like, this is a very simplistic song, and I think that if she would have delivered it as simple as it is, she would have been able to appeal to like the broad audience that just will vote for it, because it's a casual song that they're hearing on the radio and they would have been voting for it. Right now, I think that it kind of lost most of its voters because it will not sound very good and it will look messy. So I think it can just miss out.
We'll see. By the way, people are saying in the chat that like the roundup is about to start. We cannot show it live because that's a YouTube no-no. So we'll bring it up after the fact. So we'll keep talking. Feel free to watch it and come back. We'll just going to discuss Poland in the meantime. Who else? Alistair, what are your thoughts?
I'm gonna keep it. I like this song. Liked being the keyword. It's giving Melfest non-qualifier with James Newman's trumpets and Mae Muller's dodgy vocals, and that's the vibe I get. But the issue is it's going to get 12 points from us because of the Polish diaspora, and that's what's going to get it through. That will get it through. Is that Poles will vote for it across the diaspora, and I think that's what will make that a wee bit more comfortable.
Germany gives it points as well. Ireland will give it points. UK is not voting in this one. Are they?
UK is, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
so then, yeah, it is. So we got at least, yeah. So that's a good point you bring. It is a reality that exists. And they have Lithuania. They get points from Lithuania as well. Yeah. Ukraine, so it's a lot of friendly votes there just to begin with.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. No, that's a good point you're raising. And I didn't think about that. Okay. Let's go to Debbie Downer, aka Roy. Go ahead.
Debbie Downer. Well, I mean, with this one, I guess you're right. I'm just confused. Like, what is happening? Why is she being tossed around by a guy completely in black that kind of looks like a Groot demon chess piece as well? Like, why are there chess pieces in general? Like, the song is called The Tower, and she's not even really singing about chess, I believe. Like, I know it's the video clip, but I'm just so confused. And what is that red horse? Like, she's standing on top of it, but she's not, because then you go back to another camera angle where she's like standing normally on the stage again. It's just so confusing, and they just throw everything but the kitchen sink, but they left the VFX effects from last 2 years home. I'm glad they did, because else you would have more of those like dank compilations of this performance. I'm just yet again so confused by Poland. It didn't need this staging, and on top of that, her vocals aren't the best either. I still think the song is not bad enough to not qualify, because Poland just has the blessing of having that many diaspora votes in different countries, and I think it will still be enough to qualify, but this is a hot mess.
I'm here for the hot mess, and I've been there for the hot mess for the last few years, and they've made it, so I believe it. So let's see what the chat has to say. I'm going to end the poll. Come on, listen to me, y'all. Don't like it. What? 40% say don't like it. 40%. Okay, it's okay. 30s. Oh. Like it, 14%. Love it. Why are you even here if you don't do what I tell you to do? Now, so clearly I am in the minority here. So that is not a great or well-received first rehearsal here. So for what I'm hearing, there is a little bit more like Poland may or may not qualify by some. Who is convinced, or not convinced, but who believes that it's a likely qualifier on the group here? I still think it's a likely qualifier. So 3 versus 3, and 3 thinking not likely, just maybe. Is that what you're thinking? Or is there one that believes it's a non-qualifier for sure? Or likely non-qualifier?
I'm not going to say for sure, but this clip has made me doubt it quite a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so it did not help. Yeah. Keep in mind, one thing we need to remember, this is a rehearsal. Vocals aren't always perfect here. And we going back a few years, because it's one of the prime example, Blanche sucked monkey balls in the rehearsals, right? And people, that during the rehearsals, we told, like, she is really bad. She was even really bad in the semi-jury show. And that's why she got really low points as well. And then come the first live show, she somehow snapped out of it and she sounded great. And then people are like, what are you saying? She sounded great. I'm like, yeah, now she does, but she didn't before. So that is exactly what could happen here as well. Also, there are ways to fix a little bit of the sound in particular, because you can bring up the backup vocals a lot more. Because right now, the mixing could have been an issue as well. Do you remember last year, Roy, when like in Mae Muller, the backups, like the backup singer was like the main singer and all of that stuff?
Yeah.
That was so weird. So stuff like that happens. So we don't know exactly.
I also wanted to say with the diaspora, I mean, that also there needs to be some sort of impetus for the diaspora to vote as well, right? So if it's a song you don't like, you're looking at it and it's like, it does nothing for you or you hate it, like, even if you are Polish, would you vote it? I mean, some people would, but like, for example, maybe like last year's song with like Baby, I feel like there was a sort of like the story behind it was quite funny, wasn't it? And so I think that kind of helped her sort of, and she kind of got it together for the live at the end in a similar thing where they've just thrown a lot of things on stage. But I guess that had more going for it than this, even though I do like this as a radio song, I have to say. So yeah.
Yeah, but in hindsight, a lot of people say in hindsight because during that no one believed it's going to qualify, right? And then it did. And it's similar with Ackman, the River. I feel like this is too much, it's not going to qualify, and then it ended in the top 10 in the televote.
No, that one was like a favorite. That was already a favorite.
It was, but once the rehearsals came around, people were off the train, the Poland train at that point, because with all the screen effects and all of that stuff, they embraced it and they went with it. And as said, you know, sometimes people also overthink the staging a little bit in terms of like, now it's not going to do well. If people having fun and they like the song, they will vote for it. They're not going to overanalyze it as much. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'm not saying I'm convinced, but I am not as pessimistic as some folks. We got to move on. I know that the other video is just about to pop up the premiere. So this is probably the best time to talk about, because Croatia is not out yet. So let's move to Iceland. Not necessarily the most talked about entry, but what does she sound like on camera and what does it look like? Okay, I gotta say, before I let you go first, but the only thing I want to say is, why is Hera Björk just showing up in your mind like, I got the winning song? Her confidence just blew me away. She's like so easy, the voice, like, I want to win this. Here's my song, and it's just so appealing to me. Do you know what I mean? I was just like so endearing. Like, there's her stage presence. I just love. There's just something about her. I love Hera Björk. But that is the first thing that stood out to me. Sorry, I didn't want to take all the thunder away. Jasmine, what are you thinking?
Well, she will got maybe a point or two on her charisma, that's for sure. But the overall package is not very strong, in my opinion, unfortunately. She kind of blends in with the stage, like everything is the same shade of gold, orange, blue, yellow, blue. So she's on that podium, and that's pretty much it. I don't expect anything else to happen. So I'm kind of underwhelmed by the whole idea. I think she deserves a better song and a better production, everything better, because in 2010 she was one of the best, and I believe that she can do better than this.
Yeah, I don't think you're in the minority with that opinion for sure. How about you, Daniel?
I love this comment someone said. It's very Jet2 holiday coded, and so I guess it reminds you of like a holiday advert, isn't it? Like, you know, sort of people going from a plane and someone on a beach holiday. But yeah, I don't know. She's quite endearing. I have to say. She's
she got the winning song. She knows it.
Yeah, but also, why didn't she have like dancers or something? And they're nowhere to be seen. Is that clip just her? It's just her, and the whole stage swallows her basically.
Why am I not remembering it? Did she
remember
have
dances?
I don't think she did. Does she? I don't remember.
She does in the national final.
The national, but not in this one.
She does in her first rehearsal. I'm sure she does.
I cannot remember. It's too much information.
Maybe they come in later on or something. I don't know. And also the dress she's wearing is really nice, but it kind of blends in with the background, doesn't it? Sort of, I don't know.
Yeah.
And her vocal is okay. I kind of, because I know she's like, I was reading, she's a vocal teacher or something, or she's actually a teacher, music teacher or something. But I don't know. Not that means that you have to have amazing vocals, but I don't know. It just sounded a bit fake. Yeah. Anyway, enough. I don't want to.
And no, that's totally fine. The thing that I out me, because I think most of us agree, if all of us agree, that this is not necessarily the most competitive entry, to say the least. But I will say, also besides that, I didn't necessarily care for the camera work a whole lot. I think Daniel and we talked about it earlier, right? Online,
too much.
about because you're like, there are not enough close-ups. And I'm like, I think there's a good amount of close-ups, but the reason why both of us are probably correct is because there was a lot of zooming in and zooming out, and it made it look really, really weird. Like, where are we right now? So I think that was my biggest issue, just looking at this particular the clip. I'm like, she needs them even more close-ups just on her, not just like getting closer. We're going a little bit away, and we're getting closer. I'm like, it was a little bit disjointed for me.
It's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Jonathan, what do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I agree about the weird camera work, and I'd add that it's just weird that it is so slow. Like, it's panning in so slowly, and this song, while not being competitive, is still supposed to be an uplifting, like, boppy pop entry. And why are you doing it like it's a documentary about Hera Björk, and you're showing us why she got the winning song? Like, this is not the idea here. So, but hey, as you said, her confidence can get her some points. So I do hope that she won't finish last. Like,
yeah, I know, right? Well, the bar here we're talking about.
Bless you, like.
Angela's funny. She's like, I feel seasick from all the camera work. I can't imagine how dizzy we'll be shot. I'm like, let's not even get there right now. That would be super depressing. Okay, so let me end the poll real quick here, and then we'll go from there. So for Iceland, we have 46% said it is okay. 42%. Oh, I put in the wrong bucket. 46, it's okay, not 46, I love it. Okay, hang on 1 second. I'm making mistakes here.
46% say it's okay. 42% say I don't like it. 7% say I like it, and 4% say I love it.
That's what it was. Thank you. I did the upright. I did like in order. That makes sense. Okay, so not too surprised here. I'm glad, at least, unlike with Poland, the I don't like it bucket is only the second biggest, not the largest. So yeah, that's what we have. In terms of how it works out with the points in the end, we shall see. So any final thoughts on Iceland, Roy?
I mean, it just feels like they gave up. Like, they just gave her the basic triangles, staging, and just like some easy zooms. Like, she'll rock it with her voice and her charisma, and that's just all she's gonna get. And I mean, the song is not very enthusiastic either, so she probably won't qualify, and that's okay for them, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it's just kind of like they know they're not the most likely qualifier, and it's not that that's the first time that this happened. So I wrote the score down. I'm going to do one more, and then we probably the actual other clip will be available for the other rehearsals, and we go back to Lithuania and Croatia. But for now, let's quickly talk about Slovenia. Are you all ready? Here we go. Wow. So Raiven broke the wind machine. I could feel that here. That was a lot of wind. I know, Jasmine, you are a fan of the song. What do you think?
I'm very scared.
Oh dear, why is that?
I don't know. Like, vocal is flawless. I know that, but the backdrop feels uninspired and empty. There is no visual whatsoever. Dancing, like dancers, their movements, that's something that I like in general. So I'm really the demographics for it, but I'm not sure if other people will find it appealing. Like, she's doing this operatic vocal and they're dancing around her. Like, I'm not sure if people will grasp the concept. I don't know.
Okay, if you don't, no, that's, I was just curious.
I don't know what to say.
It's okay. No, yeah.
I hoped for better. I hoped for more. So
Mhm.
I'm kind of feeling disappointed a little bit. That's where I'm at.
That's fair. Alistair, your thoughts?
I think it's hard because I don't want to judge it from 30 seconds, but like I'm just thinking I'm gonna have to do a report tomorrow back to BBC Radio about what we're expecting from rehearsals, and I can only say one word, which is screaming. And I know it's operatic and I know it's that, but why was that the 30 seconds that they chose? Like,
Yeah, I know.
what went
Say
through their
that.
head? Like, it was that bit before where it's facing, like, her back is to the audience, and that's what we're seeing. That's going to look really, really cool, I think, live. And I don't know if that's maybe why they didn't choose that, because they don't want people to have a preemptive thought going into it. But I just don't understand why you've got 30 seconds to show bookmakers, to show fans what your song is. Yeah, here's 30 seconds of me screeching. I don't know. I love the song. I really do love the studio version, and she does have very good vocals, but I just don't really understand the choice of rehearsal footage, basically.
Yeah. No, I was said the same thing, so I don't have to say anything else. Jonathan, your thoughts?
Well, I'm confused about why they showed us these specific 30 seconds. Why did she go for the high notes instead of the chorus in so many of those, like in so much of those 30 seconds? Because I have personally preferred it if she actually sang the chorus and the high notes were recorded. Like, I know that she's trying to be impressive and show us her vocals, which is great. And I think that she should definitely do that at some part. But the chorus is the strong part. Like, the chorus is really, really good. And I'd like to hear that more than the high notes themselves. That's also what I noticed when I listened to the song on the studio version, not the high notes. But maybe other people that don't know the studio version in advance will not have that problem. The staging, as you all said, basically, it's just a little bit lackluster, because I would love a good contemporary dancing, but that requires a little bit more intimacy and a little bit more like graphic idea, not necessarily for the backdrop, like maybe a prop to support it, or I don't know, just a camera effect to support it, something that would make it feel not awkward a little bit.
Yeah, no, well, that's exactly the kind of stuff I want to hear. For me, in a nutshell, also, it seems like there's a slight disjoint between the song and the staging to me. I don't know if those two mash well together. Daniel, any thoughts on this?
I was just wondering whether they realized they're in the same semi-final with Ireland and chose not to go like a more darker route, maybe just to do something different, because they obviously thought that Bambie Thag, they would go with that direction and she would go with something different. I don't know. It's because it's very bright, isn't it? That's what I was the whole time. And she's talking about witches, and it's a lot of body and sort of movement, and her clothing is quite dark, and quite. Actually, I really like what she's wearing. It's quite interesting. That's what I was thinking. Maybe they just didn't want to do what, because obviously I guess Ireland is the competitor in this finals. It's everyone.
Liza said the first time in East Easter where Poland shitty movie maker effects would be appreciated. I hear that. I want it because we haven't been like, she has a great voice, so she sounds. It's just, I think it feels a little, like empty almost. So yeah, that's my official price. Well, maybe they didn't choose the best 30 seconds for getting a hype going. Let's put it that way. But that's that's their choice, and I'll make the choice of ending this poll. Let's see how y'all voted. Maybe they disagree with us. 37% say it's okay. 26% did not like it. 22% liked it, and 13% loved it. So I guess it's not the worst outcome. I think people maybe had just slightly higher expectations. So I am checking out right now the video from the Eurovision channel, and it's done. So I could be able to jump to Lithuania, right? So let me bring up Lithuania here, and I'm going to show you that. I cannot upload it, so I'm just going to share my screen in just a second.
Can I share my 2 cents on Slovenia as well? Because
No.
I'm more of the opposite, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the thing is, like, this is the ending of the song, so we know it's going to be the shouty part of the entire performance. And yes, it is a little bit too bright, but it does give me a bit of a better idea of how the entire performance will be. Like, they're obviously going to build towards this moment. And I quite like the interpretive dancing that we still got in the beginning of the clip. I think she looks very fierce, and I actually quite like the way she looked and the dances around her. And I think for the entire 3 minutes, I think it could be kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know, but maybe it is a little too bright, but I quite like what I was seeing, actually, surprisingly, maybe.
Yeah, I assumed the answer already, so like, why bother? He's gonna dislike it. Clearly, I was wrong. Okay, so let me bring up Lithuania real quick. Let me just make sure the sound's working. Can you hear this?
Yeah.
Can you hear the sound?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, do we have any Luktelk fans on right now? Raise your hand. Like in top 10 or anything? No. All right, then it doesn't matter. Oh, Alistair, why don't you go ahead then? I'd love to hear your opinion.
Yeah. I just really like the song. I think, see, because it's in Lithuanian more than anything else, it's nice to have a national language like in the contest continuing, because Lithuania are quite good at singing their own language. And I think it's poppy, it's a wee bit different. My only fear from the first rehearsal photos, I'm not really sure from that one, is the colors like going from the national final to that. I'm worried that he's just going to get washed out a wee bit. Like it's going to be too red at points, which is what some of the photos look like. But I do really like the song, and it's one of those ones that I'd be genuinely happy to see it do very well.
Okay, Jonathan, what do you think? Did you like this, or were you expecting more? Tell me.
This is about what I was expecting. Yeah, I think they showed a good 30 seconds of the rehearsal, and generally this is looking, well, I wouldn't say necessarily better than the first rehearsal, because it kind of looks the same and the same as the national final, but it is what they were meant to be from the beginning, and they're doing it good. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of the song, but looking at all of the other rehearsals and all of the other songs, I did say it could potentially be a shock non-qualifier. I don't think that anymore. Like, I do think that this is a safe qualifier.
Yeah, I feel like, it sounds kind of boring because it's kind of what we expected, because it's kind of the pictures that we saw, the little snippet from the arena a couple of days ago, kind of like what we're seeing now is exactly what I thought was going to happen. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because it almost seems like they're almost ready. Like, let's do Eurovision tomorrow. And they're like, sure, let's go. So it really seems like they kind of, they're inside. And we always, we would love to see something new. Let's bring, something crazy on stage, a piano that you're going to throw across the stage. And we're just, but most people have not ever heard the song, haven't seen the national final performance, and they just want to vibe with it. So I think they know what they're doing. So I'm okay not being shocked or surprised. Everything I saw today or right now, none of that concerned me as much, except, yeah, it's very red, maybe a little bit too red at times, but we also may have gotten that one specific time, because it was right after the almost called the dance break, the instrumental part, which I guess almost a dance break to a certain extent. So it's supposed to be like the last moment. So I thought this one's going to get a little brighter because it's the end of the song, but they did not. Anyways, Jasmine, any other thoughts?
No, not really. Like, I'm probably the only person who likes the beginning of the song more than this actual ending, when it really starts popping off. I like the beginning of the first chorus and the second chorus. And when it comes to Luktelk part, I'm kind of over it. I like the beat at the beginning and verses, but what most people love, I'm not really featuring. But expected, I didn't expect they're gonna change it. Like, if something works for you, why change it, I guess. And the feedback they received was super positive from the fans, so yeah, it's okay. it's okay.
Yeah, once again, why do we have to see their dance breaks? That's the clip we're going to show you as little as humanly possible. Let me know if anyone has any other thoughts, but I'm going to bring up the poll right now.
I thought the backing vocalist was mixed in very loudly compared to him. Like she was really hammering in the Luktelks in the background, and it kind of distracted me a little bit. I don't know if anybody else also picked that up.
Yeah, no, you're right. Actually, now that you pointed out, I did hear, but I kind of actually liked it. It added a little bit more of a layer to it and a little bit more stank, almost said skank. So, what is skank? No, stank to it. And so I agree with you, but I actually didn't mind it. I think it added a little bit more for me. So, but that's a good observation. Let me bring up again. 44% wins the like category. 24 went with love. 23% said it's okay, and only 7% did not like it. So, is that surprising to you, Jasmine? You kind of what you were expecting for this outcome?
Maybe I expected even more for the love category because we know it's one of the fans' favorite. Let's call it that way. Not for the win, but
yeah.
Throughout these several months, Lithuania was one of the most spoken of countries. So that's. But maybe people also wanted to see something different. So that's why they're not crazily in love because they already know everything, kind of. So yeah, but it's expected.
Yeah, I think that's a good summary of the situations. And since I'm already you wrap this up, Jasmine, so may as well jump right to Croatia.
All right.
And we're done. Oh no, that's okay. Here we go. Okay. You had your
goddamn horse.
There's no going back. Whoa, my presence takes the black. Whoa, yeah, there's no going back. Whoa, my anxiety attacks.
Dance break.
Of course. They're the goats. Yeah, Hera, you already had your turn. Okay, so there she comes. But I hear it coming. Okay. Go right back to you, Jasmine. What are your thoughts?
Okay. Well, the dance break is there, obviously. Well, I love that he has improved his vocals. That was what was worrying me at the beginning when he won. I was very worried about that. I love the outfits that he changed. The concept pretty much stayed the same, if I'm right. So
Yeah,
nothing much to add there. But I didn't like that the cubes on up there was so colorful and it was a bit trippy, in my opinion. I don't necessarily see the need for that, but that's a minor thing. Overall, I'm happy with what I saw.
And that is good. That's a good thing in my book. How do you feel, Yehonatan?
I think that this was a very good clip. I'm happy that he went with the freestyle hair, not the a little bit vampire-y, like washed back hair he had in the first rehearsal. I don't know, personally. I thought that it looked good, and I'm happy that they're not going with only green and it's a little bit more colorful than that, because the entire backdrop has this like TV malfunctioning vibe, for a lack of a better word. But I think that it looks very good, and it's going to be a party in the arena, and this is the kind of songs that come to life with the audience in the arena, and that will especially use the fact that there is audience 360 degrees around the stage this year. Like, I think that that's the bit that we're forgetting with many of these performances. They can really come to life if they bring the crowd up on their feet. Well, they will be standing, but I think that this will benefit from that.
Very, very important point you're raising there, because I would have said the same thing. Is one of these performances are difficult to judge without an audience. I remember it's the opposite genre, but 2017, Salvador Sobral standing in the arena surrounded by people. No one was around during the rehearsals when his sister did, and we're just like, okay, this looks kind of empty, but once you have to envision yourself, there would be people jumping around and da 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 da. So yeah, that's some people. I mean, I noticed his hair's back to more like wild, like a better word, not like a slick back. Some people liked it the other way, some people like it this way. I like the other way, but it doesn't matter to me. And Roy, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's actually interesting that Jasmine points out the cubes on top, because I actually thought I looked at it as well and I was like, oh, that actually looks really, really nice. So it's cool how people can have different opinions about the same thing. But yeah, I really like how it's kind of an upscaled version and a more polished version of the national final performance. And I think the camera shots were pretty all right as well. I think there was one shot where he was like standing just behind a bit of smoke, so maybe he just missed his cue where he needed to stand to really be in shot for that. And yeah, you really need to see this one with audience. I think that is the biggest factor here, and people will party along to this song and definitely sing along as well. And I think that will really come across well on the live feed, basically, that we see in the semifinals. So yeah, overall very positive, and I think it looked very good.
Yeah, before I close this poll, just real quick, Liza said, I feel like this confirms to me that the vocal mixing is off. I know how much Marco's improved, and I don't think this clip showed it off. Otherwise, this looks pretty damn good. Any final thoughts, Alistair, vocal-wise? Did you hear anything that was disturbing to you? Or
Yeah.
because I didn't really hear it, but it's good.
I don't know. This thing is like, when it comes to vocals, and I think it's easy to compare to the studio version too much, and I think that's my issue. But I agree kind of with Jasmine on the cubes, but at the same time, it grabbed my attention more than anything else. I don't think it was as jarring as I thought it was going to be. It brought me in more than anything else. I do really like this song, and Marco's great. I think he'd be a very good winner, but at the same time, it's not the song I don't know.
You're not
It's
convinced
kind of
yet?
the same issue I have with the Netherlands. It's not the song I'm too confident on winning, because it's very good. It will grab people's attention in that, but then will it grab a jury's attention in the final? I don't know.
Yeah, that is the big question there, huh? I don't disagree with you either. But what I will do now is end this cute little poll and go back to Croatia. And 43% loved this rehearsal, 28% liked it, 18% thought it was okay, and 9% have an issue with lasagna because they said they didn't for this. So that's still overall a pretty good poll. Or not just pretty good, really good, actually. Any surprise for this? Nope. I'll take it. No, good answer. And we'll come back, of course, we end if you want to, but we gotta, have quite a few more countries to go through, and I gotta jump ahead in the clip here. We got that's Slovenia. I'm just going forward. Oh, I saw a crazy egg, so that must be Finland. Let me go back here. Okay. The denim egg.
Crazy egg.
I know. Let me.
Not the crazy frog, it's the crazy egg.
It's the crazy egg. There's something crazy going on. That's why we love Eurovision, right? Okay, here we go. You get a second of Slovenia. One more time. Or not. Don't yell at me.
My name is Windows. Windows 95. And I only live by one rule. And the rule is no rule.
So if you're getting the first 30 seconds of the song, you're not going to get the chorus then.
Silence, I say. This is my time, my states. Call me what you may. See if I can. See me slay. Is there
Hey, what's up, Miko?
Oh my god, I love the
Who
stage.
put that commercial in there right at that moment? Oh, it was over, to be fair. Okay, it was over. Okay,
right,
so
entertainment.
they chose the beginning of this. It's funny, the irony that here, you need to wash yourself, here is tied. Coincidence. Daniel, what do you think?
I don't know. It's like watching it repeatedly again and again, and there's nothing new about it from the national final. And also nothing new from the TikTok. It's literally carbon copy. And I suppose it does what it says on the tin, right? I think it's going to qualify because of the craziness of it. Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's nothing new about it, and I wasn't expecting anything new about it. It's just because the package was already there, right? And
yeah, I don't think necessarily there is like too much to add. Jasmine, is there anything that stood out to you?
No, not really. And this beginning, like I don't remember from the national final, were these cracks in the egg lit up? Like were they lit before?
okay.
I think
Something
that
new.
maybe
Well, that's
maybe
gonna make a
that's the
difference.
difference. But it's really hard to spot such changes. But yeah, it's pretty much the same as it was, and we kind of know what we will see for the rest of the performance. I'm just curious about the vocal of the other singer.
Yeah,
I
it
believe
wasn't very
he's
good.
singing in a
It's not very good.
slightly higher register or something. So that's the difference from the national final as well. So I'm curious more in that than in what we saw.
Exactly. I was waiting for that part as well. Now, not to be the contrarian, because I think the song's a little bit of mid for me as well. I will say the chorus is actually quite catchy. That one gets stuck more in the head more than like Europapa, actually. Me personally. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to praise the song. So because I do admit the flaws of the song, but I really wanted to hear that. At the same time, I also think that this is going to go easily through. I'm getting this. I mean, I'm going really far back, but there were years. This was pre-juries even. When these songs, everyone hated "We Are the Winners" from Lithuania in 2006. Like it was universally hated, right? And then it finished 6th in the end. No, they're not going to do as well in the finals because we have jury still to prevent that from happening. But I expect Finland to do a whole lot better than a lot of people in the chat even would like to, based on the comments. So in terms of what I saw right now, it's expected. It's nothing that I'm going to say like, wow, that changed my mind. Roy?
Yeah, I mean, I think basically everything has been said. Like we can just expect from this staging what it was in the national final, and the crack was new, which is also something I noticed. But yeah, it was all right, and I just need to hear the vocals, and I think everything's been said, really.
Yes. Okay, then let me go back and end this poll. How did people like this little rehearsal clip? 53% did not like it. I'm not too shocked. 23% said, okay. At least 13% loved it. That's higher than some others, and that can give them extra points. And then 9%, they like it. Jonathan, any surprises here? Oh, that's
I'm always kind of surprised to see the sheer amount of dislike that the song gets in the fandom, because I always think that this should be what the fandom likes. Like me personally, I'm also on their side. I'm not featuring this song very much because I don't think that it really I don't think that it's making a good troll while also like delivering something on the side. Like it's too much for me. So I'm still surprised that it gets so much dislikes. But yeah, I'm not letting it giving me too much hope for it to non-qualify.
Yeah. I think it's kind of funny. Like there has been a lot of more like indifference or negativity towards the song, but almost everyone believes this is going to be a qualifier. Is there anyone in this group here right now who thinks this has a potential of a surprise non-qualifier, or you think that's unlikely? Anyone? Alistair, you think this could be potentially non-qualifier?
I'm sorry, I want to be positive, but this song is trash. It's so bad. I don't know.
You just raised your hand so you could say that. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, basically. No, I remember watching Ka and thinking, how the hell people vote for this? And me and Gabe spoke about it when we done London Eurovision. Now, these two guys, lovely, genuine gentlemen, like we're both so nice, took the time to interview with Gabe again and that. And they were so nice. But their song is just, it's taking me back to like when I first started watching Eurovision when I was a kid, when it was a joke. And I fear for Finland because I know Cha Cha Cha, it's not a joke entry, but you can get where people are coming from when they kind of compare the two in terms of the kind of how they are. And I think that's my big fear for UMK's growing in Finland. Obviously, they're getting better and better artists, and then they continue to send this. And I think if they do a third year of that next year, I really worry for the kind of integrity of Finnish Eurovision. But this song specifically, I think I more just want it to non-qualify. I know it will be good in the arena. I will enjoy it, seeing it live, more than doubt. But it's painful to watch.
And then some other awesome country may have to miss out because of that, right? That's I'm always thinking, like, if it would be the 11th qualifier, sure, but, you know, somebody else will fall out probably. Yeah, I mean, I don't even hate it as much as some people. I mean, I don't like it. I'm not like a fan, but I can't help it. I keep singing it. Anyways, we got to move on to the next country on the list, which is Moldova. Natalia Barbu in the middle. Get ready or shut up. Here we go. Lots of, again, funny face. I love when the clip just ends and I see all of your faces to see what's going on. I will say this. Let me go just real quick. I still consider this a dead on arrival kind of thing, right? I will say that the revamp that they did is better. I like the little violin part sounds way better. I think the beat in the back sounds way better. So the way they clean it up sounds actually nice. And I like the wings and all that stuff. It's still not grabbing me. But I never liked that last part anyways with the high operatic. It sounds like a vocal warm-up to me.
Beautiful.
And so I'm not a fan of that part. So I don't know why that shows that one, but I think that's the strongest one part. I don't know. So yeah, that's just all I have to say. Roy, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, to be honest, like visually, the backdrop looks absolutely stunning. The thing is, it looks still a little bit empty, and the song is really just what it is. So, taking the song aside, yes, I would have maybe liked the staging to be a bit more full, but on the other hand, it's also the ending of the song, so you usually pan out a bit more because it's more epic. But yeah, I don't know. It looks really good. Like, Moldova knows how to make a good staging. It's just that the song is not really up there to really make that happen to a qualification, I think. And yeah, it looks a little empty. It looks really good though on the LEDs, and that's basically it, I think.
Yeah, Jasmine, what do you think?
I agree with Roy completely. Like the backdrop looks brilliant, but that's pretty much it. Like she can sing, but the song it's not very gripping, not very interesting. It looks empty. She's alone on stage, and it's static. I believe she will not be moving at all. And yeah, there's like I don't expect people will be very focused on the song during the show. Like I believe Iceland and Moldova are that two songs that really don't stand a chance.
Yeah,
anyway.
So that certainly did not change your opinion, I can tell.
No.
How about you, Daniel?
It looks good, but it looks good.
Daniel.
Yeah, also like I suppose you can say the visual is quite impressive, but even that kind of visual, you see that a lot even when you get on a TV screen in a yoga place, or so it sort of gives me that kind of vibe to I don't know. Well, she sounds good. Also, like when she was reaching the high notes, they were sort of ending abruptly. Was it just me, or was it? Or she wasn't.
I think it's intended, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay. So that kind of stood out to me. As I said, I actually did think there was more of a chance if she went with her national final performance with the three pseudo violinists. No, because that was quite severe and it was quite different, and it would sort of maybe stand out more. But I understand there was budget constraints in bringing them all.
Yeah, I was about to defend her. I'm like, it's out of her control, which sucks. Like the rich countries have much. I always think there should be a budget limit, but that's just me. But then at the same time, then we wouldn't get some of these awesome performances either. So I don't know. It sucks. But it is life, I guess. So let's go ahead and finish this poll and see if people agree with us or they think we're completely nuts.
Well, they'll think that anyways. But
yeah, I know that's like that doesn't. So. 46% actually said it's okay, so it's almost half. 35%
in the middle.
Did not. Yeah, literally. See what you did there. Some brownie points for Jonathan there. That was good. I'm so proud of you.
No,
I'm actually mad that I didn't think of that. So 12% for like it and 5% love it. So I'm gonna write that down. So yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't know if any staging would have saved the song, to be honest, because it's just, I don't know what she could have done. Even three sand ladies, couldn't have fixed that, I think. And I'm not talking about Denmark sand lady. I'm talking about, sand lady from
was that Macedonia or Moldova? What year was that?
Moldova brought her back a few years ago in 2019, or was it 21?
Yeah,
19.
it was Ukraine before.
Yeah. Yes, it was Ukraine before in 2011. Yes. Yeah. All right. So I'm out of clips that I prepared, so I got to go back to the recap. So the next one in line is Azerbaijan. So let me just jump ahead to that one. She's still singing. Oh, I went too far. Okay, so I know I'm like multitasking. I don't know why I'm doing this all by myself here. I should delegate some of this stuff. So sorry, I'm gonna just talk to not have dead silence and awkwardness. So talk. Here we go. Still, the tide is following me around here because I let that clip happening. Okay, here we go. There you have it. So I'm going to give this one first to you, Alistair. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I've actually never even listened to that song before. I've just learned that there.
Really?
You
haven't listened to Azerbaijan?
I don't know how. I don't know. This is the issue. See, because I know I've not listened to all the songs. That was just there when that came on. I was like, I don't recognize that at all. I really like it, and I love the visual. See the long shot where you can see the whole stage. The colors in that were gorgeous. My only fear is it's coming after, obviously, the weird whatever they're doing this year where Sweden perform.
Oh, that's right. Is that what Sweden comes in?
Yeah, so it literally goes Finland, Moldova, Sweden. So Moldova are going to get lost, and then you then go to that. Now I think it sounds different enough that it could be. It could. I think it could sneak through. I mean, from that clip, I don't know what the hell the rest of the song sounds like, but I don't know. I actually am really looking forward to seeing that live because it sounds quite. I don't know how to describe it, but it sounds quite good.
Okay, I'm happy that you feel that way, especially with your first impression. I know Roy and I had more invested interest in this. So, Roy, I'm going to you. What do you think?
It feels a tad bit empty, maybe. I don't know. A couple of those wide shots were like, okay, not a lot is happening, but maybe with the audience being there, it could look a little bit better. But on the other hand, it's not really the dance type of song. And I expected a bit more of an intimate staging with this, maybe, because for me, it's very vibey and very much like you just listen to the song in the park or something like that. And they're trying to maybe sell more of an epic feeling. I like with the beginning how you really focus on Ilkin, that singing the higher notes. But then the other singer, Fahree, was like standing there for like 2 seconds or something, and then he started singing, which was a little bit awkward as well, but they can polish that easily. I don't know, a little bit of a mixed bag for me. I like it, but I'm not fully sold, maybe.
Well, I'm kind of once again in agreement with you, Roy.
How dare you?
I'm not completely sold ilther. I do think that, and forgive me, I keep forgetting the name. The featured artist,
Ilkin Dovlatov.
Yes, he sounded great. Like I loved his I'm calling it wailing. It sounds almost like so rude, but you know what I mean. It's just like this traditional. He sounded really good, and Fahree, I thought he was a little too soft for my liking for the song. I know it's not. But I wish I would give a little bit more there, as well as with the stage presence, and it may have to do with the camera cuts as well, as you pointed out. So, but we've seen there, lots of countries had like too many. The camera shots that should need to be tighter again, closer. I think that makes the stage empty, even with those big hands, which are not going to be there all the time. So I did like that there would be at least some color at some point. There was a few splashes of color in the back. So I would hate to be the stage being black and white the entire time in silver. So I like that idea. So that's a little thing that stood out to me. I need to wait to see the whole thing because this was not enough for me, and I need to see the whole first dress rehearsal to completely get an opinion. Yehonatan, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think it was Boris on the live stream when we reviewed Slovenia that said that he wishes that the backdrop of Azerbaijan and Slovenia would switch. And seeing this now, I completely agree. Like, this is such an odd staging for this song, in my opinion, because it's way too dark, but also too wide for the like warm and not cuddly, but like tender vibe that the song is trying to deliver. I'm a bit lost between like the impressive vocal moments and then the empty wide shots. I think that they made some odd choices there, but overall it's not a bad staging. It's just not really fitting for the song.
Okay. That is fair. And I'll ask for more opinions, but let me first bring up the poll. We got a few hundred votes in. That's a good representation. So we got 40% saying it's okay, which kind of like goes in line with what we were saying. So this time you're listening. Why didn't you do that earlier? Don't like, say 24%. Like it is 23%, and 11% say love it. Your thoughts? Sorry, Daniel. Sorry, I'm just mixing up the names.
I thought the who's the main singer guy? I don't remember the name.
Fahree.
Two singers. Yeah, I thought his vocal sounded a bit off actually, a little bit. I don't know. It just sounded not right.
It wasn't.
Little,
it was not right. Maybe it was the mixing. I feel like because he was not horrible,
yeah.
It's like a little off.
Exactly. And also, I don't like what they're wearing. I think it really clashes with, even though it's black, it's still clashing with what's going on around them. I don't know. It's a bit too. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't fancy what the styling either. So
you have to kind of wait for the whole
do
thing
like
again,
the song though. I've been liking the song quite a bit, but I didn't have high hopes for it. I don't know, just because unless they did something, it felt like maybe it lacked the warmth that the song is. Like they didn't go for like a warmer thing. They went for this sort of dark austere thing, almost robotic kind of aesthetic. So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're almost. Is anyone disagreeing? Like someone has a strong opinion either way, love it, hate it. It seems like nobody, right? It seems like very much in between. Yeah. So that's kind of where we are with Azerbaijan. So why don't we take this opportunity? Oh, how convenient. Australia's right after that. So all I have to do is share my screen. I don't have to jump anything. This is so much work.
Can I just say that jingle in between sounds like you're booting up your Nintendo or something?
What jingle? Which one?
Like in between all of the songs.
Ringing sound?
Yeah.
Yes. That's why as a gamer, I love it. You know, but I was like, oh, that sound. But I'm like, no, I know why. I'd rather have like really like out of nowhere, like finish him from Mortal Kombat or something. But just me again, the gamer speaking. Anyways, I digress. Let's move on to Australia. Oops. Alrighty. So, do we have any previously like fans of the Australian entry in this group? Okay, we got Jonathan and Alistair. Jonathan, what do you think about what you just saw?
Well, I'm very happy with what they're going with. And as I said, for Croatia, this is one of those songs that will really come to life with an audience. Like, it's very hard to judge it now without any audience in the stadium, because Electric Fields, it's such an incredible act, and they can really make the crowd going wild. And the song is uplifting, it's fun, it's energetic, and I think that after such a stretch of songs that are serious and a little bit more stiff in their staging, like this will really come to life, and it's joyful. I kind of wish for even a little bit more, well, when there will be audience, there are shots of the audience and shots of like the arena, because I think that this is, if there is a song that fits for that, it's this song. But yeah, overall, I'm happy with that. And despite what many people think, I do think that Australia can qualify. Like, I think that it is a likely qualifier.
Yeah. Oh, likely. I mean, I know you're not the only one who thinks that it might qualify, but not as many have it as a likely. So that's interesting. Thanks for sharing. Alistair, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think kind of similar in the terms of the fact of like Kosovo, where it is in the running order. I feel like it could definitely sneak through. And Australia do generally do well, but they've been struggling with the televote. I think the thing I like the most about it is, see, purely just because they're using the Aboriginal sounds. It is obviously very inspired by that, using the didgeridoo and that kind of thing. Obviously, because we don't really know what's happening with Australia right now. We don't know if they're back next year. Like, unless they've made an announcement I've never seen. Like, they've never re-signed a permanent contract like they did last time, where it was like they had the 5 years. So I think if this was the final song from Australia, I would genuinely be quite happy to see that. It's obviously not going to win the contest. It's not going to do amazingly. It's just a nice kind of feel-good song. And I don't know, I think it stands out in this sort of semi-final where you've got a couple of different songs, but a lot of them are quite generic sounding at points. This does have that very different sound with the didgeridoo especially.
Okay, interesting. People in the chat at ESNet, I would love to hear your opinion, because I will say I have a slightly stronger opinion. Not like, but I felt a little let down by this clip. Number one, the backups mixing again off. You know, really loud backup vocals, and it did not jive with me and his vocals together. It seems a little much. The walking around just seems.
Oh. Yeah, we don't care for his opinion, I guess.
Over there, right? Oh, there was a refresh happening for some reason. Okay. The Australia team did not approve of my comment. So let me just bring everybody back in here.
Oh. You just got stuck at walking around.
Hang on. Who's missing on the screen? Oh, I'm missing Daniel. Oopsie daisy. Yes. There you go. What was the last thing you guys heard?
That you thought they were walking around quite a bit.
They were walking around quite a bit, but it seems not like energetic. It seems more like I'm just going over there to pick up the trash kind of thing energy, you know. And it didn't feel like as vibrant as I was hoping for, I guess. It wasn't horrible, and I like the instrumental edition, like the didgeridoo sound, you know, that was really, really cool. And those elements really bring what?
Can you do that interpretation again?
And I did like that part, but I think the overall package, I was a little let down by it, to be honest. People making fun of me. I got kicked out. Yeah. So if anyone else in the chat, look, I feel like I'm maybe a little harsh on this, but yeah, I was a little like. And yeah, this person says, backup vocals are too loud and a little bit out of tune. Yeah, so it wasn't just me, at least. Jasmine, how did you feel?
Well, I share your opinion to an extent. This, like, I don't necessarily see the need for dancers in this one. And I would like to have more representation of indigenous and cultural aspects overall. I feel like they included it, but for my taste, that's totally my thing, personal stuff. I would like it to be less pop song and less, you know, less party and more traditional oriented. But that's just me.
Okay, that is fair. So let me bring up the poll real quick here. I have no idea what they're going to say. And remember, I have nothing but love for everyone. You know, it's just like the clip itself. So 37% actually said it's okay. 36 said they didn't like it. So I was not completely off. Those are okay. 17% said they liked it, and 8% said they loved it. To me, this is a big surprise. I thought it would be a little bit more positive than this. So, any thoughts on this?
I thought maybe the sorry, was it me or was someone else?
But I meant to say Daniel. I keep doing that, so you read my mind.
No.
Yeah,
Alistair, you go for it. No. Fine, I speak too much anyway. You go for it. Don't worry.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you can go ahead, Daniel. Daniel,
Oh,
you're supposed. Yeah, I meant to say your name, so that's what's my
No,
fault.
it's fine. I was going to say, basically, I do find that bringing the Aborigine person or two people a bit tokenistic, because I think she's they are Aborigine themselves, aren't they? So I don't know. It just feels a little bit like trying to make it a selling point, you know, if that makes sense. But I don't know if I'm just being very cynical here. But sort of also, I initially felt a bit empty as well, the stage, and I don't think the song is strong enough to be able to, lift you up just with the singer, because you like the song so much, so you're still okay with just the two singers on stage. I don't think it's strong enough for a song to do that. So yeah.
Yep, that's fair.
Yeah.
For now, are there any Portugal stands in here? We got Jonathan and Jasmine. All right, well, get ready to be either impressed, disappointed, or just whelmed. As I'm bringing out the next one. Okay. Okay. Are you guys ready? Here we go. First, Jonathan, what do you think?
Perfection. This is what I want. This is what I need. She is really bringing her full vocal performance into just this rehearsal. I can't wait for what will be the semi-final and the final, because let's face it, I think that this is a qualifier. Well, I at least want to hope so, but I think it will. This is doing exactly what I want people to be doing with that stage. They are very brilliantly using the cubes and the backdrop to create this very unique atmosphere. And that climax of the song is just a moment. This is going to stand out so much, and especially being in such a good running order. Come on, Portugal. Let's do this.
Jasmine, you think Jonathan is nuts, or do you agree?
I totally agree. I mean, I will repeat what I said when we talked about first rehearsals. This is my favorite Portuguese entry in modern Eurovision, and probably overall in Eurovision. I loved everything about this, and that's why I think Slovenia is in grave danger, because they're basically doing the same thing, and Portugal really dominates. That last note is just wow. So if this doesn't qualify, I'll be very angry.
I know that you won't be the only one. There are lots of people who are really now jumping on the Portugal bandwagon, rightfully so. And at least the clip that shows the bit we wanted to see, Danny62 is saying. Roy, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because Portugal was one of my lesser liked songs this year. I just couldn't really get into it, but they really staged it effectively. Like, it looks very clean, very slick, very solid. Like, they play nicely with the contrast between the black and the white. Like, she really pops out, even with the guys around, or the dancers around her having the face mask on. Like, she is the center point of this part of the clip, at least. And I think they've done it really effectively. Just very slick, very polished, black and white, just how it nicely contrasts with each other. So Portugal really, really pleasantly surprised me here. And yeah, I'm definitely going to put this up higher in my ranking after this. Definitely.
All right. There one a doubter over is now. Poll and chat, don't fail me now. I'm going to end it now here. 3, 2, 1, end. So let's get the results. I have a feeling it's going to be pretty good.
Let's see
57%
some IP addresses.
I'm sorry, what?
Let's see if we need to collect some IP addresses.
I know, right? I'm saving them all. Like it, 22. So 57, obviously a great number. And then almost the rest is in like it. 10% said it's okay, and 8% watched a different performance. Okay, so that's a pretty good outcome, Alistair. Any other thoughts?
Just that one camera shot they showed us, that kind of coming in from far to close, was really, really nice. I know we've obviously spoken a lot about kind of like the strange camera work, but that was really, really good. This is one of the songs, like Portugal, over the past however many years, probably until, I'd say from 2020 onwards, have always given me some of my like most played songs. Just genuinely can just listen to it. It's like, it is such a nice song. I think you are kind of right. It puts Slovenia in that wee bit of danger of being too similar, but I still think Slovenia would kind of creep through. But that song, it's so good. I do not understand the staging. Why are they wearing masks? It is giving me a wee bit of Wild Youth from last year in their music video. Like, why are they wearing masks?
A little bit there.
But it is very, very good.
Yeah. Now it's absolutely. I was going to say something, and now my brain is. Oh, I don't remember. Because I was talking to Bernardo from Portugal earlier. Weavy Blocks. You know, I'm kind of obsessed with him, and because he was like really excited about it, and I did say to him as well. Like, I was never worried about the juries as they come here. Like, this could win the jury vote. Somebody's saying. I will say that it's similar to almost like Estonia. I'm not comparing the songs, but Estonia's intention and goal was to survive the semi with the televote, which they did in 10th place, right? And then they did so well with the juries that put them on the left side and even top 10 of the scoreboard. Portugal was initially kind of in the same boat for me, although I like Portuguese song way better than Estonia's. But I think that initially a lot of people were thinking this may not be as televote friendly and more of a jury pleaser, and we don't have them in the semi, so that was a concern. But I knew if they were to make the cut, left side of the scoreboard would be very, very likely to begin with for them. And I think now it just reiterates, I think, qualification, especially with the running order in the second half being like the less competitive one, for the lack of a better word. This one is the standout in the second half to me. And I think that is exactly my opinion. So I love this as well. I love, once again, we see much better camera work here than some of the other ones. So they gave us what we were looking for. And that is something I wanted to applaud them for as well. They sent us the right clip. All right, let's just go one more here, and then we can answer some other questions about all the other ones. And that is Luxembourg for the first time.
Second rehearsal. So
for the first time, we get to see camera work, though. You know, so for Luxembourg. So here we go.
Around, hear the sound of your dreams, not of your fears, and just open up your heart.
What?
Different outfit, sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking out loud.
I will never let you down, and know you're a fighter. Holding your heart around, you know you're a fighter. J'entends loin, loin, loin. Cette petite voix qui me répète, non mais tu vas où?
You know what? I think that shows a good clip as well. I quite liked that, actually. I liked her voice there. I liked her look much better as well, but we knew that was going to change. So I think this was quite nice. I didn't have that much expectations, but I think she sounded good. And I think this is a good moment there for... I wish almost it was more bombastic when she goes into the big note. That's the only thing. But other than that, I quite like this. Daniel, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's sounding really good. It's sounding good. I thought maybe the staging's a little bit dry, a bit sort of not much happening. Yeah, I mean, like, I do like this song because it reminds me of like Eurovision like 10 years ago or 12, 15 years ago, but kind of, it's good. It's good. And yeah, it's not bad at all. I think it's kind of like okay to liking it, I would say.
We are allowed. Here we got Daniel's permission to like it. All right.
You can do whatever you want. So, yeah.
I know, this is funny. Jonathan, what are your thoughts?
Well, I do also wish, well, like Daniel, I think that this particular part of the song, the staging is a little bit dry, but I know, like, I'm remembering the pictures from the first rehearsal, and I know that they have a lot more in store to show us in the earlier parts of the song. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Vocals were on point, which she has improved from the national final. I'm happy about that. That is also maybe a part of the fact that she's not dancing as much, which is also good. And yeah, I really like this bit in the revamp that they added with this slower build into the faster last chorus. I think that really adds a lot to the song. So yeah, overall, a nice rehearsal. I do have much more anticipation for the earlier parts of the songs, though.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Roy.
Yeah, I quite like. Wow, I wanted to say enjoy and liked at the same time. I love my non-native brain sometimes. Anyways, I quite like what I was seeing. I think the hair made her look very endearing in a way, and it was a nice way to really like get close to her with the camera shot as well. I think there was a bit of a lighting moment right before we got into a bit more of the vocal, where she was a bit like overshadowed by the light coming from behind her. But overall, I quite like what I was seeing. I do kind of question why they cut off right in the middle of the big note. So yeah, I'm still curious to see the rest of it, but I kind of enjoy it.
Interesting observation there. Jasmine, your thoughts real quick.
Well, I'm curious. I'm happy that she is able to sustain the high note, but I'm still curious whether she is able to go as fast as she needs to go in the last chorus, because it really speeds up, and in the national final she was out of breath. She couldn't really keep up with it, in my opinion. So I wonder if she improved that aspect. I hoped for a different part of the song in this clip. I hope to see the function of the prop, or at least something about that. So I can't say I'm disappointed. I just wanted to see different part of the song. That's pretty much my thoughts.
Fair. Guess you got to wait a few more days to get that, but soon enough. So let me go ahead and end this poll and see what Luxembourg is gonna get. Okay, this is loading too. It's not coming up on my end. Let's wait. I click end, but for some reason it's not coming up. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it says 37% say it's okay. So they're just okay, the majority. And 35 say like, though. So it's like right there, smack down between like and okay. 14% don't like it, and 12% love it. So it's pretty much smack in the middle here. So I feel like, I mean, I have to still do the calculation. That Luxembourg
I already did them, don't worry.
Well, you don't know how my voting score thing.
Well, just average everything.
Ish. Yeah, there's a point system that I had actually, but I'm curious what you have. But I think it's going to land somewhere in the middle. Was my point. So I am going to work on that as well tonight. Hopefully, have that out tomorrow, or like your tomorrow will be my evening. But my dog's still asleep, so hopefully I have to take him outside first. I don't want him to pee in the house. So yeah, but before we do that, let's talk quickly about our best biggest surprises. Not necessarily your favorites, but you're like, wow, this was like two cool moments. So everyone pick two, not three. Two. Think about it, because I'm thinking about it too, and I'll just keep talking and talking until I have my two that I can. Those two biggest moments for me, and I feel like we're probably going to agree for the most part. So based on our comments, but obviously for me will be Ireland and Portugal. Those are the two my favorite moments. I feel like yay moments for the day, and that doesn't mean they're all my favorite songs now. I'm saying those. I really enjoyed those clips and got me excited. Let's go down to Jonathan. I mean, down as in term.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, sorry.
You just told my two. Definitely, there is no competition there. I think that both of them really managed to do something special with the camera work and use that stage as it meant to be used. Well done. Well done.
Okay, so and I see the chat says them as well. I'm going to read them in a second. Alistair, the two biggest prizes for you.
Probably Portugal and Lithuania. I think it's just a case of if a song's in another language, I just seem to love it at this point. I did like Ireland, but not enough for it to be a surprise.
Okay, that's fair. No, if you don't want to have all these same answers, right? So I'm cool with that. Daniel.
I probably agree with you, Ireland and Portugal. I think I said about Ireland, I didn't say about Portugal. I did think the vocal at the end was really good, and just the way that the thing is around her. It was just, I was quite impressed. I still don't like the song, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Jasmine.
Well, Portugal didn't surprise me because that's what I expected after the first rehearsal. So my answer will be Ireland and Poland, actually. I don't say it's great. No, I don't say it's great. I just find it a surprise. I didn't expect that kind of staging and that concept. And while I like some parts of it, I found it intriguing and interesting.
All right, interesting choice. And Roy, what's your pick?
I mean, you guys have already said it. It was definitely Ireland surprised me the most. Like that was a wow moment for me, and Portugal just looked really, really slick. So those two would definitely be my picks.
So what's your second one?
Portugal.
Portugal as well. Okay. I'm surprised because you all had very positive opinions at Ukraine. Nobody picked Ukraine, actually. But I guess it was more like we know Ukraine is doing well, so nobody was surprised in the end. So, yeah. Oh, that is very interesting. So let me go back here just in the chat real quick, see some comments here. Christina says Ukraine and Ireland. Aussie Rose, thank you, by the way, for being the most amazing moderator in this World Wide Web. Portugal and Ireland as well. Lithuania, Ukraine, you said twice. Okay. And then, that person has 3. I said 2. Playbon on the web says Ireland and Ukraine. Then there, Healthy Trout says Ireland and Ukraine. Australian, Azerbaijan by Talk78. So there is, somebody has Azerbaijan there. That's good. Ukraine and Lithuania from Crystal. So there are lots of differing opinions actually online. So that is very interesting. So overall, not just even like picking your favorites, do you think like this was a good first impression? Like, oh, I'm like, okay, I have a few concerns, or like this was horrible. Let's, I can speak for myself, so I give you a second to talk. Like, overall, I have a good opinion. I will say there need some sound mixing concerns that I've had in several performances, and I think we beat that horse to death now, but I'm not, no reference support to Poland. But the camera work and angle, some of them, need some attention and love, I guess. So I'm going to start with you, Roy. How did you feel about overall what you saw today?
I think you basically nailed it head on. Like, there was definitely some mixing issues, and some countries have really nailed it though. So like Portugal, for example, and Ireland sounded really, really crisp. I don't know. So maybe it's also a bit of a delegation thing in a way, but there is definitely something going on with it not fully being mixed correctly. But overall, yeah, pretty solid. Not necessarily super outstanding. Like last year, I was a bit more overwhelmed, I think. I guess I'm just whelmed.
That's a fair statement. Jasmine.
Well, that's why we have rehearsals, as I already said. So I'm not worried about it. It's how it should be, and that's like if anyone can do it right, it's Sweden. So I'm confident that by next week everything will be great.
Okay, Daniel.
I'm gonna echo Jasmine because I kind of feel like these are rehearsals and we're only seeing clips. So you need to sort of think about they're looking at things, perfecting them. That's kind of, and there's like 3 run-throughs, right, for each song. I'm guessing, is that right?
Yeah.
And then so it does, and also this one was the first time that it was just the whole semi-final, isn't it? And then maybe be less judgmental, I suppose, to myself.
Yeah, that's fair. Alistair, what do you think?
I think I'm just like, I don't know, I'm feeling like a general sense of underwhelmment but I think that's from this year in general. Like, I don't know if I'm expecting more or what it is, but like when I compare it to especially Liverpool, I'm not getting the same vibes, and that's kind of my big issue now is like, yeah, this semi's good, and I know for a fact that next Tuesday I'm going to be disappointed when some country doesn't qualify. But in general, I'm just kind of listening. I'm listening to a lot of this year's songs, especially in a semi, and just kind of going like, yeah, I feel like these would have got knocked out in the first round of some other national finals sometimes, and I think that's where I don't know. This year's just kind of leaving me with that kind of like, sort of, it's just happening.
Yeah, and Jonathan, what do you think?
Well, kind of a mix of what everyone said. I do think that it's a natural thing because these are rehearsal clips, and so naturally not everything is perfect, and that's good. That's perfectly fine. But yeah, I also find this semi in particular not as strong as I'd like to be, but that's nothing that we can do with it. Like, it's the year. Sweden is doing a good job overall, and I think that the show would look good.
Yeah, I think that's a fair thing to say. So I think that's a good way to wrap it up. This was fun though, even like, watching it with other folks together to learn about it. And I will do this again. Well, tomorrow we'll have only tomorrow we have like the first 2/3, or like half of the semi.
The first half of semi
exactly
2,
half?
and then
Okay.
all of the big 5.
And all the big 5
Oh,
rehearsing
really?
for the
Wow,
first
okay.
time. Yeah, and then they're going to
Amazing.
rehearse for the first time the big 5. So it's a little different. So we're going to get the clips of the first half of the semi 2, and then we're going to go back to this whole, the big 5, and they're going to be I don't know how they're going to do the breaks and all that stuff. I should look it up. So yes, that's basically where we're at. So thank you, Roy. Thank you, Jasmine, Alistair, Daniel, Yehonatan. I hope you didn't hate it. Loved your insight. You're way better at this than I am. So thank you. And everyone in the chat, thank you so much. Before you leave, hit that like button, because otherwise this video will disappear in the black hole that is the algorithm, and I don't want that. So I'll see you all tomorrow, okay? Not the same time. I still have to figure out when, because there's a weird breakout and I had to play it by ear, all that stuff. So I may have to do that again tomorrow. So until then, okay? Bye.